Welcome. I'm Cynthia Greer. For those of you who don't know me and are new here, I am a spiritualist who works at the in-depth level of the soul. I work on all aspects of healing to help you live a full and productive life on every level. And that is why I offer a variety of subject matter on my channel. Being that I have a background in dance, was professionally trained in it, and did perform at one time in my life, I know the importance of being balanced. So I relate my spiritual work to that because one of the things that I learned is that most people have one side that is weaker than the other. And if you don't develop the side that you are not comfortable with, or the leg that you can't raise as high as the other leg, you will be a one-sided, lopsided dancer. And the same is true if you have had a stroke or you have some kind of a disability. Then you are impaired in a way that you have to really work to develop what has weakened during the illness. I'm a cancer survivor of stage 3. So I have a lot of tips that can help others along the way. So if you find that my videos are helpful to others, please hit those like, subscribe, and share buttons. And I have a treat for you today. Eat off the land. I have not been able to put this cookbook down. Oh my goodness. This is so dear to my heart. This book has been written by a very special lady who is so dear to my heart, a close friend and sister. On YouTube, she is known as Outdoorsy Mama. Her name is Sharon Trammell. Since she was a toddler, she has foraged mushrooms, berries, and herbs in the state of Oregon. She is a master herbalist and forager, a divine fisherwoman, and a huntress as well. And what I like about her work is that her goal is to bring people together instead of separating them. So the first thing that I noticed when this book was in the stages of conception and she was discussing it with me, she wasn't sure if she was going to write a cookbook. And I said to her, I said, from what you are telling me, I said, this book can appeal to vegans, and vegetarians, flexitarians, pescatarians. You know, there's so many labels for everything nowadays. But I said the recipes that you were telling me about can be adapted if you are not a meat eater or you don't eat fish. And so I really encouraged her to get on the road with this, and she did. And when I got the book, I was just so impressed because she had quite a few meatless dishes. And I am a big fan of mushrooms anyway, always have been. Love them. Sauteed in olive oil with onions thrown in and garlic, salt and pepper, onion powder to boot. I mean, I've always loved that. And she really goes into depths about how to forage mushrooms that are wild without poisoning yourself. So when you read this book, it is so detailed because if you really study it and you take the time, if you are serious about foraging, you won't harm yourself. Now, what I noticed for myself is that after I got into this book and I was looking at the various types of mushrooms, I would go to our Vaughn's pavilions and things started to stand out to me that I had never paid attention to before. So I'm basically a city girl. I don't live in a rural area. So I'm not someone who is going to be out foraging in a forest for mushrooms. But I do practice a healthy diet, and I love to cook, and I'm always looking for new recipes that can be adapted to vegetarianism. And I mean my problem was overeating because food is so good. Oh my goodness. But when I went into Vaughn's, I started to really pay attention to these imported mushrooms that were in all different shapes and different sizes. And I went home and I called Sharon and I said, you know something? I said, when your book comes out, I said, this is going to be great for people who live in the city, just as well as it is for those who take foraging seriously, who are camping and hiking, and a great deal of their lives is dedicated to living off the grid and survival. I said, even if you're in the city, this is so going to be so beneficial. And so when I got the book, I couldn't believe what was in here. I have to put my glasses on. Granny can't see. Okay, so I'm going to share some things that I'm impressed with everything. But if I can find it, there is so much here that she has come up with. Now, take a look at this. Chicken of the Woods. Look at how this is broken down, just to give you an idea. Bright yellow to orange caps with sulfur yellow undersides, no gills, just pores, grows in overlapping fan-shaped shelves, sometimes as large as dinner plates. Okay, and then she lists the cautions here. Always cook thoroughly, never eat raw. Start with a small portion the first time. Some people are allergic. Avoid mushrooms growing on conifers, eucalyptus, or locust trees. They may cause gastrointestinal upset. Do not eat if the mushroom is crumbly, dry, or bitter tasting. Now, I bet you didn't know this about cleaning mushrooms. I didn't. Okay, and I've been doing it the wrong way for years. Okay, cleaning. Brush off debris with a soft brush or cloth. Rinse lightly under cool water if needed, but don't soak them. Check for bugs. I would have never thought of that. Truthfully, I wouldn't have. Okay? So, check for larvae. Never thought of that either. Especially in older specimens. Pat dry with a towel or let air dry before storing. And I want to tell you something. With as hinky as our food supply is here in America, in the Western world, you can't always trust what's going on with your vegetables. Everybody squawks about meat, okay, and the parasites that you can get with meat. But they are completely unaware of the fact, if they are vegetarians, that you can get parasites with fruits and vegetables as well. In fact, not too long ago, this is no lie, I cut an onion in half. It was filled with flies. Go figure. And I had bought that onion, get this, at a ranch market. So anything can happen. And I believe Sharon's book, Eat Off the Land, okay, whether you are foraging, whether you live in a rural area or not, is going to help you become more aware of what you are putting in your body. Okay, so also the other thing, people have a tendency to keep food too long. Mushrooms are mold, okay? So max of keeping these are 5 to 7 days. And then she goes into how to freeze them. Saute in butter for 3 minutes, cool on a cookie sheet, freeze in vacuum-sealed bags. Ensure mushrooms are cooked thoroughly when thawed before consuming. Now, I have done this myself. It does work because I got a really good deal on some good-sized button mushrooms. And it's just one person living here, and that is me. And with the way I eat and how I will have several different vegetables in one meal, I thought I have several months worth of mushrooms. I don't like to keep anything in the freezer more than 2 months, but I did this. It works beautifully. So this is another wonderful tip. Okay, her foraging grows on wood, not on the ground, common on dead or dying hardwoods like oak, cherry, and beech. In the Pacific Northwest, may grow on oak willow and occasionally coniferous trees like Douglas fir, although some species on conifers may cause gastrointestinal upset. Grows in shelves or rosettes, often brightly colored and very visible. Then she gives you her season, August to October. She then goes into how to harvest it and the flavor that you are going to get with this mushroom, and then the recipe. She always gives a recipe as an example with each one, and I just love this. And I've already tried this one, homemade Alfredo pasta. And I want to tell you, if you do not eat dairy products, the vegan alternatives are just as good. They are phenomenal. And I made a totally dairy-free version of this not too long ago. I didn't have anyone to share it with. And I sat down, I had this Frenchy lunch that was 2 hours long. I had my salad. I had a wonderful croissant with it. And then I had my wonderful pasta and mushroom dish. And also, if you don't have chicken of the woods, okay, remember that you can use another mushroom to substitute as well. She also talks about crab hunting for those of you who are hunting crabs. Now, I can't find it right now, and here we go. Dungeness crab, red rock crab. So she goes into the male and female crabs. And this is another thing that really impressed me with what Sharon has done here is, if you are someone that is fishing and you are looking for crab, most people don't know that in certain places you are not to take the female crabs for obvious reasons, because they are the ones that produce. So you are to only harvest the male crabs. And she really goes into detail about this as well. I'm going to put Sharon's link for her YouTube channel and her book, which is now on Amazon, down below. And she has also been doing a number of book signings in the Oregon area. So look for her if you are in that area. Eventually, she will branch out and go to other areas as she is up and coming. And she really and truly knows her stuff. She's an educated woman. She has a degree in psychology. She is a mother of 2 beautiful children who are equally as talented as she is. And in closing, I want to say I love the way she's bringing up her children, because in this timeline, so many people are focused on only the looks and an internet presence and algorithms, and kids are being taught vanity, whether they are male or female, and they're being taught technical things, but they are not developing the higher intelligence, and therefore they are not truly developing at a soul level. And that development does need to start early in life, because the development of a child is most important in the first 4 years of its life. And so, as opposed to teaching her children to be the center of attention and to grow up before their time, because childhood is so fleeting anyway, she has taught them to become close to the earth and how to work with the earth. And so this is something that we really need to go back to, because cosmic law, I've said it in my spiritual talks that I give, doesn't change. It doesn't change. People fight against it, and when they do, there's always a backlash. So Sharon's book is going to teach you not only how to work with the earth, but how to respect the earth and to live a full and enriching life by doing so. God bless you, and have a most wonderful, wonderful life. Go forth in blessing and gratitude. Bye for now.